What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today I wanted to spend some time and talk about Masterworks Weapons in Destiny 2. Unveiled only yesterday with the Bungie blog post, Masterworks Weapons are arguably the most important change coming soon to Destiny 2. Unfortunately, yesterday I also saw a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about these Masterworks, so I want to today explain in full with all of the available information what Masterworks weapons are and how they work, as well as talk about probably the most important factor involving this new edition, which is how they're actually going to impact Destiny, what difference they're going to make in gameplay. And so, let's get started. So, Masterworks weapons on a base level are simply legendary weapons. Any legendary weapon you can acquire within Destiny 2, and this should include after the Curse of Osiris expansion, new legendary Curse of Osiris weapons. You can get any of those weapons as a Masterworks version. So this means, are there weapons you can only get in Masterworks? Well, as of yet, that answer is probably no. This also means, are there certain legendary weapons that don't have a Masterworks counterpart? Again, no. Every legendary weapon has a Masterworks version of that. And remember, Masterworks weapons are being added into Destiny 2 with the December 12th patch, 1 week after the Curse of Osiris expansion goes live. Now, moving on from there, the next big question is, what's the point? What do Masterworks weapons do over their legendary counterparts? Well, according to Bungie, quite a few things. Firstly, in terms of aesthetics, Masterwork weapons will showcase your kill count, which you can change to overall kill count with that weapon or just crucible kills. And Bungie has plans for the future to add this kill count to other places like a crucible kill screen. So when you die to someone using a Uriel's gift, for example, in the future it will say Uriel's gift 325 crucible kills, or whatever that person has. So just like Battlefield 1, when you get killed by someone with a Hell Regel and 25 stars with it, you know exactly who's too afraid to switch off the meta. Now, in addition to that, Masterworks weapons also have more practical advantages. Firstly, they all generate orbs for you and your allies on multi-kills. This is a big deal, especially depending on what Bungie considers a multi-kill. In PvP, if a double kill triggers your weapon to generate an orb, that's going to be incredibly useful. And in PvE, even if it's a 5 kill streak basically, or a quad kill, that's still going to be rather achievable with a lot of weapons, so expect Masterworks weapons to become nearly essential when doing endgame PvE activities. Because generating orbs is a big deal, letting your team recharge their supers faster, and if you can get multiple multi-kills, generating 2 or 3 orbs is going to just substantially increase the amount of super usage overall within either a Crucible game or a Striker or Raid or what have you. Now, importantly, these are not normal orbs. And this is something a lot of people didn't pick up on, because Bungie actually says generate orbs for you and your allies. Most orbs do not work for yourself. If you use your super and generate a bunch of orbs, you don't even see those orbs. Your teammates get those orbs and you are left in the dark. However, Bungie specifically states that these orbs are for you and your allies, meaning that not only will you be regenerating your allies' supers a lot faster with orbs, but you will be able to charge your own super, which is fantastic for solo players. Now, of course, this may be like a typo or something, but I sure hope not. And moving on from there, the last thing Masterworks weapons have over their legendary counterparts is that they add weapon stat bonuses that are selected randomly from a small pool and re-rollable. This is huge, and it's also caused a lot of confusion. I've seen people say, yay, random perk rolls are back. No, they're not. Nowhere does it ever say that Masterwork weapons will alter the static rolls of their base legendary counterparts. Let me repeat that. You can't change the perks of a legendary weapon. Even in Masterworks version, the perks stay the perks. Now, what this whole re-rollable phenomenon is actually talking about is, again, small stat bonuses. So what exactly does that mean? Well, if we take a look here at the Masterwork Uriel's gift that Bungie showed off, under Masterwork Weapon, it says 10 and then reload speed. That's very important, reload speed. That should mean that this is providing a bonus to reload speed for this Uriel's gift. And if we actually take a look at this weapon's stats compared with a normal Uriel's gift that's in the game right now, you can clearly see that reload speed is more than normal. It's definitely higher than the normal base version. So that definitely goes into this explanation of this Masterworks weapon mod essentially providing reload speed as it is stated. Now you may also notice very clearly that handling is down quite a bit. This could mean several things. Remember, even though Bungie provided a lot of information, they didn't provide everything. There's still some unknowns. So handling going down could be a trade-off. If you increase the reload speed, maybe it lowers the handling. If you increase the range, maybe it lowers the stability, something like that. Although trade-offs are never mentioned in the blog post. It just seems like a pure update according to that information. So it could also mean a nerf. We know that an upcoming sandbox update is coming on December 5th with the Curse of Osiris, and the most popular PvP weapon, the Uriel's gift, is likely to be the target of a nerf. I'm not necessarily saying it should, but it's just likely. Lowering the handling of this weapon is something that Bungie is likely to do, honestly. So that could be what we're seeing, is a post-nerf Uriel's gift. That's why the handling is lower, and of course the reload speed being higher is just affected by the Masterwork weapon. Now, very interestingly, although the inspected Masterworks Uriel's gift shows it has 33 rounds in the magazine, the selected Uriel's gift shows that it has 35. So it seems like a different Masterworks mod will be increasing magazine size by just a little bit, but the reload speed actually doesn't change in either version. It's the exact same reload speed. So that is frankly very confusing. I don't know what Bungie is doing behind the scenes here, but it could also just be a glitch or a display error that we're looking at here, because it does seem like they would select the same weapon for the inspected and selected versions. Now you will also notice in the Uriel's gift Masterwork picture that there's several different options within this essentially mod slot. You have the Masterwork weapon reload that we see right now. Then you have a picture of a hammer, and then you have the what looks like a crucible symbol. Now the crucible symbol picture of the Masterworks weapon, and then the one equipped right now which has the Vanguard symbol, or actually just has a symbol of all the different classes, these are probably just what you exchange depending on what value you want to display in your kill count. So you would put on the Crucible one if you want to display the Crucible kill count, and vice versa for the overall kill count. The hammer is likely just reforging or re-rolling the values of your Masterwork weapon. So if you don't care about reload speed, like Bungie states, you can re-roll and select randomly from a small loot pool. So potentially you could re-roll this and get better handling, maybe more magazine size, hopefully stuff like range and stability, because those are like the big ones. And hopefully it doesn't increase them by as much. You can have like 10 to your reload speed as a value, let's say, but only 5 to your stability. So we don't get, everyone looking for stability, because that's what really happened in Destiny 1 with the perk system. Now, as we just touched on, that number 10 is rather interesting. It could be a value again associated with reload speed. Potentially even you can get randomized values of reload speed, so you could randomly roll reload speed with an 8 or a 9 or a 12. Maybe it goes up to 20, I don't know, and that determines how much reload speed you would get. That would be a decent idea for, letting people spend more time in the game and just something else to grind for. The 10 could also just be an increase to power level. Just like how mods will increase your power level by 5, potentially the Masterworks weapons will be 10 power levels potentially above normal legendary weapons. So that is really everything we know so far about how Masterwork weapons function. But how do you get them? Well, according to Bungie, Masterworks weapons drop from any source whatsoever that can also award legendaries. So legendary engrams can randomly decrypt into Masterwork weapons. Also, any activities like Trials of the Nine or the Raid that just award you with legendaries. Also, planetary factions, once you level those up and collect the engram reward, those weapons can randomly spawn as Masterworks. All things that give you legendary weapons can also give you the Masterworks versions of those weapons, as long as your character is above 250 power level. If you're 249, you do not have any chance to get Masterworks. As long as you're 250 or above, you will be having the chance to get Masterworks weapons. In addition to that, some activities, Bungie states the Raid and Trials of the Nine, those weapons will have a higher chance to be Masterworks variants than random legendary engrams, for example. Now, what these chances are, well, we don't exactly know. It could be a 10% chance anytime you decrypt a legendary to get a Masterworks version normally, and then for the Raid, it's a 30%, let's just say. It could be much higher, we're talking 50%, it could be much lower, we're talking 1 or 2%. That is a huge factor in determining how well these Masterwork weapons work, because you want them accessible. You don't want someone playing 3 days straight and never getting a Masterwork weapon, but you also don't want them so accessible that within a week everyone has the Masterworks versions of the weapons they want to use. That's going to be just as bad for the game. Now, Bungie again mentions the Raid and Trials of the Nine, but that's it. It's going to be interesting to see if these drop rates are affected with, for example, timed activities like Iron Banner. Iron Banner is only here for a week. Will it have the normal Masterworks version rolls, like really low, or will it have higher to accommodate the fact that, people can only grind it for a week and then it goes away? That's going to be an interesting question that, of course, Bungie is going to answer later. And so, guys, there you have it. Masterwork Weapons for Destiny 2 explained. Now, what do these actually mean for the game? Well, certainly, their addition is definitely a positive thing. These Masterwork weapons and the entire concept of now grinding the game for entirely new weapons, essentially, and weapons that do provide substantial bonuses. Even just having the option to generate orbs from multi-kills, that is huge. And again, as a PvE player, that is going to be a big bonus, especially if you can get an entire team together, either an entire strike team or heck, an entire raid team, all running Masterworks. The orb generation is going to be much higher than normal. The super usage is going to be much higher than normal. It's a very important factor. So, the desire to grind and get these weapons is going to be relatively high. Not only are you going to be going for the new legendary weapons added with the Curse of Osiris expansion, but you're now also trying to get the Masterworks version of those. And that is definitely a very good thing. It's going to give people more to do. However, the concept of Masterworks still feels like Bungie being rather timid with their weapon system. They seem to be afraid to go back to anything completely random like in Destiny 1. Destiny 1 certainly had its problems, but those problems could be fixed without completely removing the random reroll system. And now there's a lot of people in the community that believe removing that was a mistake. It certainly led to a lot less replayability. And with Masterworks, it seems like Bungie is putting one toe into the water of randomization, but no more. Again, reload speed is an example of a stat affected. Likely we're going to have handling, maybe magazine size, and hopefully we again will have range and stability, but that's a possibility that we don't have those things. So these very minor stat bonuses are again just a little bit of randomization, just a little bit of customization, but nowhere near as substantial as having completely random perk rolls. And so we'll have to see how this actually pans out. I have a strong feeling that it won't be as customizable as people want it to be. That everyone's going to be selecting from just a few really good stats, like again stability potentially, or if there's not stability, everyone's just selecting reload speed or handling, and that's about it. And because these bonuses seem rather minor, if you have the wrong one, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. With that all being said, the fact that these Masterwork weapons do have some degree of randomization is definitely a good thing, and it's certainly better than if they didn't have this option. So, I do feel like Masterworks are a positive addition to the game and they are a step in the right direction. However, I believe more needs to be done in the areas of randomization. Perhaps, why can't Masterworks have different sights and optics that can spawn with your gun? Maybe you can change just one perk, maybe even just out of the middle roll, I don't know, but again, that randomization is certainly missing from Destiny 2 and I think a lot of people feel it. And moving on from here, the next obvious step is to have Masterworks Armor. And Bungie did say this. They said moving forward, they want to look at expanding Masterworks to other gear, and Armor is just the obvious next place to do that. Armor right now is pretty bland. I would love to see that spiced up and additional stat bonuses and perks and whatever added through the Masterworks versions. Let's hope. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. Now, if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.